My full name is Enid Florence Trowbridge. My age is 92 and a half. I was born in Dorchester, Dorset, and as I said, I lived most of my life in Sussex. I originate from Dorset, but I spent most of my life living in Sussex. I have two daughters, one of them in the town here, which is why I'm in Winchester now, and I have one granddaughter, and not a very big family. My daughter in Winchester was at the university. She is a professor of history. My other daughter is an accountant. I wasn't really that clever, but they are, so that's nice for me. Not very exciting. Fairly normal for some time, I suppose. Things weren't very comfortable in the 30s. No central heating, so it was very cold. And we had holidays. Sometimes we went to the seaside and did the usual celebrations at Christmas and Easter. That was fun. Went to school, came out. Of course, the war changed a lot of that, and otherwise we would probably have stayed at home, but I joined the ATS, so I saw a tiny bit of the world. Memories of the war, I don't know if they're of interest. The D-Day, which is just coming up, it made me think of it today. But just previous to the D-Day, we had troops in our road. They were in their tanks and in their lorries, and they were parked down the road, waiting to go across the sea to invade France. And that was quite interesting. We had troops from North Africa and then from America. And of course, when D-Day came, that was very interesting. They left from the port about 8 miles from us. So we didn't hear an awful lot about that at the time, only since then. And one day when we were coming out of church, we saw some people walking down the street, realised they were in uniform, and everybody was lining up looking at them, and leading them was General Montgomery, who was rather a hero to us in the war, and he was accompanied by the American generals Eisenhower and Bradley, and Eisenhower became president later on, and they'd been inspecting all the troops ready for D-Day, and they were on their way to have lunch with the mayoress, which was next to the church, and that's a very favourite memory of mine. Well, I didn't do anything very exciting. I was stationed around Aldershot, mostly where a lot of the military are, but I enjoyed it there, and it was a very enjoyable experience altogether. One learned a lot. I did find that people were basically very much alike, only outwardly they were different, but we all had the sort of same hopes and fears and beliefs and things, and mostly we all got along well. It was an enjoyable experience. We had a special place where we interviewed people who wanted to be officers, and I helped with that, and any of the office work, and I did office work wherever I went after that. Well, that was, I was a secretary at one point in a research laboratory, so that was quite interesting, though I didn't like typing out reports. Yards and yards of formulae. It's one of the worst things to type, I should think. But we were allowed to see what was going on sometimes. Like that. People didn't like it because we experimented on animals, but nobody actually objected while I was there that I can remember. Mostly used to be through dances. Of course, it was the war before I was a teenager, so that restricted a lot of things we did. Nothing very exciting, I'm afraid. It's quite leisurely, really. We get up when we're ready, have breakfast brought to us, and about 11 o'clock there's usually some sort of activity going on. Break for lunch at 12:30, and in the afternoon probably another activity. It might be sort of game, plays balloon tennis and skittles, and we play dominoes and Scrabble, anything like that. We'll have entertainers here. In the evening, well, we do what we like, which is usually watching television. I like reading a lot and doing things by myself, I think. I like entertainment, but not doing an awful lot. I'm reading translations from books on from other countries. That's what I enjoy at the moment. Some of the Scandinavian ones. At present, I'm reading one about China, which is a bit grim, but interesting. Well, since I started school, I used to write humorous poems, and I still do occasionally, about people here and people I've worked with and known. And I've done the occasional pantomime. I don't know why, I just find it easy. Pantomimes, Cinderella. It's exactly as it always is. Just made, I hope, a bit humorous to be amusing. Well, not a lot, actually. I was always terribly shy and lacking in self-confidence. I suppose I'm improved a bit that way now. I don't know how else I might have changed. I don't think one does change very much. I've been to America and I was quite happy to have done that and around a lot of Europe, and there's nowhere I want to go. I've never been to Ireland or probably a lot of places I could have gone to, but I'm never going to now, so it's not much good thinking about it. I'm fairly contented. I'm a very contented person, really. I'm quite happy with what I've done and what I've experienced. Well, I'm actually healthier than I expected to be. A lot more active. I'm 92 and not doing too badly for that, I think.